Hi, good morning. Welcome. This is Business Equity and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. We are drawing close to the end of 2024 and another year of working to help you and your business prosper. Our goal each week is to provide knowledge and inspiration to help you start up and succeed or grow your business if you're already on your way. Whatever stage your business is in, our categories are relevant. Getting started, access to capital, keeping up with current events in the week in business, handling accounting and bookkeeping issues, running your business day to day. We also take a closer look at a different industry each week, and we like to wrap up with a success story. We have a new broadcast every Sunday at 10 on Wish TV and streaming same time, wishtv.com. We post each of our 7 weekly segments and past episodes and other resources on our website. It's BEOshow.com. Save some keystrokes by just following the QR code on your screen throughout the hour. It'll take you straight there. While you are there, you'll find ways to subscribe to our weekly newsletter and sign up and listen to our Business Equity and Opportunities podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network. All right, that all said, here's what's ahead this hour on Business Equity and Opportunities. How PRI is advancing racing in Indiana. We return to the Botanical Bar to catch up on its progress. Beneficial ownership information reports are due, what you need to know. We visit a company tearing down transportation barriers to promote wellness. How a local author is finding success. And the Percussive Arts Society inspires careers on an international scale. We are getting started with local veteran Drew Mullee. He shares his personal journey from military service and some challenges he's faced and overcome to getting his business off the ground. We caught up with him at this year's Indiana Small Business Expo.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Getting started.
I'm Drew Mullee. I'm the owner of the Designery, South Indianapolis. The Designery, we do kitchen, bath, closet, and we do everything front to back. So we design any space that you have. We do built-ins in a family room to outdoor kitchens, kitchen, bath, closet. We sell the cabinets, countertops, flooring, tile. Pretty much anything inside the walls we can do. Well, I was actually injured in 2012, so took me about 10 years to get there, and I see a lot of other veterans that are very successful with business ownership, and I decided it was time for me to work for myself and try my hand at it. So that's a big one is leadership, especially in the Army, the infantry. I was a non-commissioned officer for a few years, and you learn the leadership aspect of it. Running a business, it's a lot of similarities there. Punctuality, everybody thinks about that with the military and kind of the loyalty. You do what you say you're going to do. So there's tons of lessons that the military teaches you that you can translate to business ownership. Well, we're working on the showroom, so we are currently able to do anything. We can get any product, we can deliver it on site. The only downside right now is we don't have the showroom. That will be early next year. We got the lease set up, and we're working on getting the space built up and then getting all the displays in and getting all the cabinets set up, and it'll be beautiful when it's done. And we're hoping around March next year we'll be open with the showroom. Well, it is a networking group. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? As business owners, we're always looking for customers. It's a mindset. So when you're around a lot of people like that, you always make connections. There's tons of people here that do home services in different arenas than what I do, and we can help each other out. So that's really the name of the game is making those connections and trying to help each other out, helping all the businesses out. I have 5 children at home. They're great. We love them, and I'd say that's why we do this, right? Is to improve the family life.
When we come back, we return to the Botanical Bar and check in with the owner, Victoria Beaty. Later, Courtney Kincaid helps wrap up our year-end finances. You're watching Business Equity and Opportunity. Welcome back. This is Business Equity and Opportunities. We first visited with Victoria Beaty at her Botanical Bar in August of 2023. It is a Black-owned, women-owned plant shop. In our first conversation, she was creating a platform for underrepresented voices while contributing a welcoming green space to the community. It appears the community has embraced her. The Botanical Bar is included in the Indianapolis Recorder's minority-owned gift guide.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Access to capital.
I'm Victoria Beaty. I'm the owner and founder of the Botanical Bar. Yeah, so since then I have kind of remodeled the space. So the space is a little bit more open for more events and workshops. Also, the construction is finished, so now people can easily come down College. We're right next door to Bottle Works, so we're located at 1103 North College. So it's in walking distance of Bottle Works as well as the new trail. So a lot of free parking, so it's easy to get to. And also we launched a crowdfunding as well. So we're going to be expanding into a cafe and wine bar soon. Yeah, so one thing that we really focus on here is we specialize in everyday, easy to care for plants. And sometimes we have rare plants, and the other thing we specialize in is really good customer service, because we want you to be a really good plant parent. So we want to make sure you walk out of here not only with a new plant baby, but being confident in the way you can take care of it. So we have a lot of workshops that we do in the space and throughout the year, just getting people familiar with plants. And we do a lot of other workshops to focus on self-care, but it's all centered around taking care of yourself and taking care of your plants. The community's been amazing, honestly. Every day I'm kind of shocked that I have a store, and I'm kind of shocked at the amount of people that follow us on social, that come into the store from actually outside of the city. We have a lot of people who come in from Chicago or Cincinnati that say, we found you on TikTok or we found you on Instagram and we want to support you. And then obviously in Indianapolis, our community is large. Like, people come in all the time. We have regular customers. Some of these customers have actually become friends, and I message them individually and say, hey, we have this going on, and checking on them. So it's just been an amazing way to be able to build community here. And then my neighbors are amazing. So this is just a perfect place to be able to do that. And so I've been really lucky in that way. Yeah, I think our tagline is give the gift that grows. And so I think a lot of people are trying to not add a lot of clutter to their space or things that they can't use outside of the 1 year. So a plant is a really great way to be able to give a gift that's going to last them a lifetime. So if it's something for a friend or a sister, or it could be a corporate gift, we can pretty much do it all. And we also repot in the store. So if you come in and you want a gift for Christmas or any other time, you can get it repotted, and we can package it in a way that's going to look great for a gift or put it under your tree. But plants are really just a great, gift that's going to last a lifetime. So if you're looking for something like that, and you don't want to have a regular toy or anything that's, you can't use, I think a gift is a great way. And we also have other products too, like non-alcoholic products that a lot of people love. And so we have a lot of gifts in here, and a lot of people are wanting to shop local. So I think that's really important. I think people are really being mindful of where they're spending their money, and shopping local has been one of those things. And so we've been seeing a lot of people come in looking for different gifts for different people's personalities. So we have a little bit of everything for everyone. So when I created the Botanical Bar, it's always been the goal for it to be a bar and a cafe concept. My goal has always have been to expand and have a multi-use space. And so I wanted to blend between the cafe and retail together. I am a marketer by heart, so I always work in cafes. I love coffee shops. And so my love with plants and coffee combined, and of course wine, just makes sense for the brand, and that's always been my vision. And so our goal is to find a space. Right now we're raising money to acquire our first commercial real estate property that we're going to transform into the Botanical Bar, which would be the first of its concept here in Indianapolis, where you'll have cafe, a wine bar, and retail all in one, as well as an event space. And so right now we're in the process of raising money to be able to purchase that property, and then with the hopes of expanding and opening our expansion in 2025, late 2025 or early 2026. Some days I walk in, entrepreneurship is hard. I think this has probably been one of the hardest years for a lot of entrepreneurs. I'm only about 4 to 5 years into my entrepreneurship journey, but it's been a challenging year, I think, for a lot of us. But every day I come into the store and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I have this space. And on those days where I really feel like maybe I should do something else, customers walk in and say, I came from Cincinnati to see you, I came from here to see you, or people who are local said, I've been watching you on social media for a very long time. I've been wanting to come into this space, now I'm here, and we have people coming to our workshops who are just really excited to be in this space and build community. I hosted a workshop a few weeks ago and a young woman said, I really appreciate what you're doing. And so I'm just amazed and I'm excited, and I'm excited for the future of Botanical Bar, and I know that it's going to be worldwide.
Do you have a story about accessing capital or anything that's helped you build your business? We want to know about it. Tell us what's inspired you. Sending us an email at beo@wishtv.com. Coming up next this hour, the PRI Racing Trade Show may be over, but its contributions to racing in Indiana will speed on throughout the year. We'll tell you more about it when Business Equity and Opportunities comes back.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome again. You're watching Business Equity and Opportunities. Thanks for spending the hour with us. Yesterday, the performance racing industry wrapped up its 3-day PRI trade show at the Indiana Convention Center. We had the chance before the show to talk with the PRI president, Michael Good, at the organization's headquarters in Speedway about efforts to expand the racing workforce in Indiana.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
Hi there, Michael Good. I'm the president of Performance Racing Industry, or otherwise known as PRI, and I've been here for about 9 months, and I came from a manufacturing and automotive aftermarket background. Most previously, I was the president and CEO of a company in Cincinnati called Dynamat. So, you know, we live in the racing capital of the world. That's what Indiana coins itself as, and you know, we live that out. The PRI Show, it's been around since 1988. It's been in Indianapolis for a number of those years, and we're here. We're not planning to go anywhere. PRI, it really, I say it does 3 things. It connects, protects, and advocates. So we put on this huge show in December every year that really connects and brings the industry together, the motorsports industry. And it really brings all of the manufacturers, and they are the exhibitors, but we also have a lot of educational classes and a lot of buyers, whether you're talking about sanctioning bodies or track owners. You know, there's racetracks all across the United States. We have specific tracks where we talk about that. We talk about promoting racing and how to secure and save and make sure that it's safe for years to come for our children to embrace. So there's a lot to it. You'll also see a lot of the latest trends that are going on in the racing industry. And the innovation we actually have, it's called an innovation showcase, where we're actually showcasing all these new technologies that are coming into the racing world. And a lot of times, those racing technologies make it into the consumer car. You know, we could sit here and talk for a long time about the impact that racing's had on the general public, even those that maybe aren't fans of racing per se. And the show really is that foundation of that. It really brings the industry together. It gives everybody a place to congregate, to share best practices, to kind of hear what's going on in other parts of the world. It is an international show. It brings people from all around the globe. So it's a great experience. Indianapolis embraces it, and it's just a wonderful city for this. The show's a big deal. So it's usually the second week in December. This year it's December 12th through the 14th. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And last year, during that same time frame, over 3 days, it brought in roughly $70 million in economic impact to the city. And that translates in a variety of different ways. I think the last year's numbers were right around 24,000 hotel nights booked in central Indiana. And then there was around 67,000 attendees at the show. So, you know, it is a big deal. Indianapolis embraces it. Mother Nature's cooperated for the past several years, and it's been a really comfortable show. And, you know, I think the infrastructure of downtown Indianapolis also makes it so conducive to have a good show. You know, everything's interconnected. You can get all over downtown through snaking through buildings, so to speak. And our show takes up the entire footprint of the convention center and Lucas Oil Stadium and the connector in between for about 1.2 million square feet. So it is, I believe it's the largest footprint show in the state of Indiana. It's significant. I think just seeing how fast things are evolving, you know, even if you think about so PRI is more than our trade show. That's a big piece of who we are. But there's a lot that we bring to the industry on the advocacy side, the other 51 weeks of the year. And, you know, we're out there connecting with our customers and doing a lot with them. but really hearing how new innovations are coming out. I'm talking to whether it's a 70-year-old or whether it's a 25-year-old, they all share that passion. And I think the one glue about motorsports racing, and having worked in a variety of different industries, it is glued together by passion. And that's the one common bond that everyone inside the building here in a few months and at the PRI Show will have. You know, they all have that shared passion. And, you know, we want to protect it. And then on the work side of it, you know, we really have to think about how the world's changing. People are making up their minds about things they see on social media and you know, scrolling. And so you have to change it. You have to get experiential in a lot of the things that you're doing to entice people to want to come to an event. But ultimately, we want to help our members and the people that are at our show grow their businesses and connect their businesses to other like-minded businesses to support the industry. So it's really exciting. Racing's really a diverse, you know, so I have two children in college right now, and we talk about their future life and what they want to do. And they love this industry, and I'm like, you know, if you're going into accounting, you can still get into the racing industry. Every race team, every manufacturer, they need all of those skills. Whether you're sales, marketing, accounting, it's not just about wrenching on cars or driving a car. There's all these different pieces of it that it touches. And I think, you know, PRI was really founded out of the grassroots racing, which is weekend racers. They're spending their discretionary income on building a car in their barn or their garage, and then they take it out to the track. And we still embrace that heavily, and that is a significant part of the racing industry, is that grassroots area. The grassroots racing really is the feeder to the NASCARs and the IndyCar and the F1. And so if you think about it from that standpoint, almost like a funnel, up at the very top where it's robust is this grassroots, and then it feeds down into these top tier, you know, at the highest level of racing. So it is really diverse. In the past 6 months, gosh, I've been to sprint car nationals and tractor pulls, and obviously IMSA and IndyCar and NASCAR. So it covers all different variations. NHRA, which has a great operation here in Indianapolis. You know, it's very diverse. It's exciting.
When we come back, Courtney Kincaid has tips to help you get through your year-end wrap-up, including the important BOI reports. That and much more as we continue.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Beneficial Ownership Information Reports, BOI reports, are due by the end of this year. Courtney Kincaid has some important information you need to know now.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
Yeah, so I've been on the program before to talk about the new beneficial ownership requirements, a new form that a lot of individuals who own a business or are part owner in a business are going to need to file. This requirement is part of the Corporate Transparency Act and is intended to stop money laundering and fraudulent activity. The new requirements are coming rapidly, though. It does have a tiered implementation, and the first group who is required to file these are for entities that existed prior to January 1, 2024. And those filed reports are due by January 1 of 2025, which is very soon. It's not a complicated form. However, there are exceptions to the requirement, and for some individuals it may be difficult to determine how to do the filing or what you need to do to file. To further complicate matters, it's a little bit unclear on who should help individuals and organizations file these reports. There are some individuals who think that it should be your CPA, and there are other individuals who think this is the practice of law. And so several jurisdictions have sought clarity on this issue. The Indiana CPA Society continues to seek clarity on this issue. Unfortunately, we don't have clarity, and so it's kind of a mixed bag at this point. As I am out there talking to our members, we have some firms who are preparing forms on behalf of clients, but most are asking that their clients file the forms themselves. And so the level of guidance and support you might get from your practitioner might vary. And it's just all about surrounding this risk and this lack of clarity. However, our members are very concerned about their clients filing the forms because the penalties associated with the failure to submit the forms in a timely manner are steep and unlike other penalties that we see. The penalty currently is $500 a day after it's due. So for those entities that exist before January 1, 2024, starting on January 2nd, you would start to incur a $500 a day penalty, and that can go up to $10,000. There are also some opportunities for jail time for failure to report. So this is really unlike things that other business owners experience for failure to submit some compliance paperwork, right? So we continue to be concerned about that. As a society, we've worked with the federal government in lobbying for a delay in these deadlines, and we think they're coming regardless. We don't see that they are going to completely get rid of the requirement. However, we are still hoping for a delay in implementation, and we're also asking for some more reasonable accommodations. The way that the rule is currently drafted, any changes that happen within an entity would require you to refile the report within 30 days. We think that's a really tight window, especially considering the $500 a day fine, and considering commonly your lawyer or even your CPA may not be aware of these small changes within the organization that would trigger the need for a new report. So we think these are some reasonable recommendations that would make it more implementable and take away, just provide a good faith in the service. We currently, just this week, earlier in the week, had an injunction, and this case is pending. And so what's happening now? For those entities that were required to file by January 1, 2025, their requirement is currently paused. But we do not know when that will be back online, when they will find a resolution. And so we would still encourage people, if they have the ability to file, to go ahead and do that. FinCEN is still accepting the filings. They haven't halted filings, so that's good news. If you are concerned that you may need to file this report, I would recommend just talking to your CPA. While they may not put the report together for you, it's not a complicated report necessarily. It's just knowing where to find the information when your report is due and how to successfully comply. There are a lot of great resources out there so you can get started in better understanding this. FinCEN has done a good job of outlining some particular small business recommendations and FAQs. You can get to those resources by visiting the QR code on your screen.
Heading toward health, ahead of business that makes sure people can get where they're going on the path to good health. That's coming up on Business Equity and Opportunity.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. Last week, we met the Certified Minority and Veteran Vendor of the Month, Danny Portee, President of the Professional Management Enterprises. This week, we dropped in on one of his many enterprises, WellTrans. Its mission is to eliminate transportation barriers to good health.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, running your business day to day.
I'm William Rutherford. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at WellTrans. and we are at our headquarters on Shadeland Station in Indianapolis. Since December of 2020, we are a non-emergency medical transportation brokerage. We currently represent over 800,000 Hoosiers across the state of Indiana, with roughly 70,000 medical trips a week, from everything ranging from dialysis appointments through cancer treatment to cardiology and dental and regular doctor visits. Well, sure, in most cases, preventative care is one of the best ways to be able to reduce medical costs. If you're not attending your doctor's appointments, if you're not attending your follow-ups, if you're not checking in and things along those lines, you're missing those preventative care opportunities. Our goal is to prevent transportation from being the reason why you miss one of those preventative care opportunities. So if we can make sure you're at your doctor's appointments, you're on time, your ability to find a ride to get there is not an impediment to it, then we can ensure better adhesion and people's better overall health in Indiana. Certainly it has a low income aspect to it. The majority of our members tend to be Medicaid, Medicare recipients who have more significant health issues and therefore more significant transportation issues and more frequent visits. But we have a number of members as well to it that are just using it for occasional dental, doctor visits, things along those lines when they don't have an available vehicle to transport. We have over 118 employees here at WellTrans that work from everything from reservations call center in order to be able to schedule people rolls, through working through network operations and working with transportation providers. We have over 160 transportation providers across the state of Indiana, so it's not just us. We're also distributing business and working with all those 160 small businesses across the state and developing whatever their geography territory is for carrying transportation. So it is a wide network operation that impacts several thousands of people across the state from an employment perspective. We hire literally every month. We have an ongoing training class going on downstairs right now, and we prefer to be able to promote from within when that is possible, so that people who join that class can eventually get promotion to supervisors, team leads, things along those lines as it's appropriate. We're a 24/7 operation, so that means we have shifts that are flexible for people who may not be able to work a traditional 8 to 5 scenario. And we can work through weekends as well for circumstances for people who have weekday opportunities to prevent them from being able to do that. So there's a flexibility to the schedule that's in conformance with it. Two is that generally our people, we're focused on people who have good basic customer service skills. The people who call us are already in a medical situation. Their lives are already stressful enough. We're trying to do the best we can not to make that more stressful. One of the things we always exemplify in the training process that we tell people is that you may never reach into a member's heart and caress their heart back to life, but if they don't get to their cardiologist appointment, neither will their cardiologist. So having sympathy for their circumstances, understanding it, and understanding it's a professional responsibility and it's important in their health process that we manage it professionally is one of the things we focus on in that training process. So we continue to grow as more and more healthcare providers reach out to us. Transportation is a complicated business. It requires a lot of participants over a lot of geographic area. In Indiana, you have a state that has 40 counties that don't have a single town in it, over 10,000 people. And you got 4 counties that don't even have 10,000 people in the whole town. So trying to run a logistics network that covers all 92 of those equally is a challenging process. And a lot of healthcare organizations are struggling with it. We have got a great group of partners and a great reach and an astounding group of people who work here every day to be able to help support us. And we've been successful in that avenue and continue to grow with other healthcare partners as they enter Indiana markets. Well, there's not much more that you can ask for than an opportunity to come in and do good work and do it well. And Mr. Porte has presented us all with an opportunity to do that, consistently reminds us to return our blessings. Just last week, just right before Thanksgiving, we were delivering Thanksgiving turkeys out among the community from a truckload that he had picked up and purchased in conjunction with this. We're constantly looking at ways to be able to make people's lives a little easier with bus passes and things along those lines that they can do in conjunction with organizations like Indigo, who are great partners to be able to work with those things, because when you can reduce another barrier from somebody's life who's already stressed, then you're just doing that much to help enable them to find a better life and a better role for things.
If you'd like more information about this or any of the segments on today's show, follow the QR code to our website. It's beoshow.com. Coming up this hour, part 2 of our interview with author-publisher Julia Royston. You're watching Business Equity and Opportunities. Welcome again. Last week we introduced you to an Indiana author and publisher, Julia Royston from Jeffersonville. She shared with us then the insights into the publishing business she's learned. In part 2 of the conversation today, she talks about writing books in the digital age.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
So I'm Julia Royston. I own BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the Book Business Boss Consulting. I am a retired educator and librarian, and I've been doing this for 17 years. And so I've been retired for about 6, so librarianship was my life, books have been my life, so this is really a great adjustment and movement and really an expansion of sorts. Now writing and publishing, coaching and consulting others as well. So entrepreneurship, business, basically bivocational is just, it's in my blood. And when I published my first book with another publisher, independent in Indiana, I realized I can do this. I can do this on my own. And so, as they say, stop begging people to have a seat at the table, create your own table. I said, I have control issues. I naturally am a born or engraved or trained entrepreneur. I'm going to do it on my own. And so through time and trial and error and learning and just my own natural abilities, here we are. So I've always loved reading. And so the books that I write are multiple genres. So BK Royston Publishing is faith-based and family-friendly. Royal Media is everything else, sci-fi, mystery thrillers, open fiction. And then Book Business Boss, of course, is from the book and beyond. So this one is one of my latest books. It's one of a kind. And it is affirmations, it's encouragement, it's empowerment for children. I really, since retirement, have really full speed ahead with the children's books. And one of the things that I'm really excited about is it is multicultural. I really strive to have diverse audiences into the marketplace. 50% of all children's books have a Caucasian main character, 26% is an animal. And so all the other diverse groups are less than that. African American is the largest with 12%, and all the other diverse groups are much less. So therefore, having a book that represents Native Americans, Asian Americans, Latin Americans, and African Americans all in one book and in English and Spanish is what I'm very proud of. It's one of my latest books. So children's is really strong right now because that's a major seller. And can you write a book on this? Can you write a book on that? So I'm turning that out pretty regularly. I think because of technology, etc., but no, I still sell hundreds of books. I still encourage other people, especially children's books, because the little ones still need to turn the pages. Now they can pick up a phone and they can hit the camera, they can change the remote, and you're right, it should be a balance. But I believe the pages will still need to be turned, especially at the smaller, younger ages, preschool, kindergarten through 5th grade. And then I still get middle and high school students. I produce young adult fiction as well. So there's still need for that, want for that. They want to take a book and, lay on the beach or be in the bed, and they also want it in digital format. So all my packages come paperback, hardback, but digital too as well. So I give you pretty much a variety of formats so that everybody can get what they love, whether that's digital only. I still don't think the book is going away yet. The physical book is still there, especially I still like them. I still love to. And so there's still a need. As long as there's still sales in the market, I'm going to be giving you that format too as well. Well, I think there really has to be something in you that really does that. I'm really striving to encourage younger writers. Because of the creative process, a lot of younger people, that's kind of, like I said, a kind of a taboo thing. They want to be cool, so they don't want anybody to know that they write. But I'm really encouraging that with the creatives, that your words can be, that live on even after you. Of course, the oldest book ever is the Bible, and then everything else is here to stay, and it's your intellectual property. I learned that during COVID. When people pass away, your words last even after you do. And family, and it's your ideas, it's your thoughts. So open them up. Some people say, oh, I didn't think it was good enough. Well, who told you it wasn't good enough? Let me look at it. Let me read it. I'd be happy to, because there's someone who needs what you've written. There's someone, and most people don't really understand that until they're actually in the business or they actually publish their first book and somebody buys it. But there are people who want what you have. There's 9 billion people on the planet, and I still haven't sold 9 billion books. I will, I'd love to, but I haven't yet. And so there is somebody out there who really loves and wants what you have. First, number one is knowing that what I create will live on after me. I have no biological children, so I'm really empowering people. I inform other people. I encourage others. So I'm really pouring myself into other people. So that's really what I'm excited about, being able to do that. The second thing is knowing that I have an impact, an influence on a generation that really wants to see themselves in the arts. When I was growing up, my favorite set of books was Little House on the Prairie with Laura Ingalls Wilder. Okay, so everybody's like, you're not from Kansas, you don't know nothing about Beaty. No, I just love writing and reading and all of that. But today it's a little bit different. Children want to be able to see themselves in multiple ways, and they want to be able to know that when they see themselves or some child that looks like them, that they matter. And so therefore, creating characters, diverse characters, all shapes, colors, sizes, ethnicities, backgrounds, that they can see themselves and have pride and be able to understand that I am important. Somebody took the time, and I get the reaction from the children. Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, I love these books. Even older people. I wish I'd have had these when I was younger. I understand, but I've got to save the next generation.
If you would like to contact Julia or any of today's guests, we have links on our website, beoshow.com. Still ahead, we pay a visit to the world's largest percussion organization here in Indianapolis. The story is right after we snare some business. Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. The Percussive Arts Society International Convention wrapped up its 2024 event last month. It is unusual for a convention because it's open to the public as well as people in the industry. The group welcomed thousands of musicians, educators, students, music enthusiasts from around the world to gather for an experience truly like none other.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities Success Story.
My name is Joshua Simons. I'm the Executive Director of the Percussive Arts Society, and we are in our administrative offices just off of Mass Avenue we like to call it the Reggie Miller Building. PASIC is the name of our conference. It's the Percussive Arts Society's International Conference. It was the organization's 49th convention, and it was an unbelievable event. We hit all types of records. More than 6,300 people came through. Everyone from students, professionals, hobbyists came through for 4 days, and we were just really thrilled with everything about it. The sessions, the concerts, the late night hangs, you name it. It was a good feeling all around. We've actually been here now since 2016. We had been here before that a few years, but it would go every 2 years, and then we would then go somewhere else, and 2 years on, 1 year off. And then 2016, we kind of worked with the city and said, you know what, we need to make this our permanent home. So we have been here since 2016, and we currently have a contract to stay through at least 2028, and who knows, maybe even longer. PAS is essentially the professional association for drummers and percussionists worldwide, and we're headquartered here in Indianapolis. The city of Indianapolis helped us move here in 2009, and part of that was home base here, and then eventually have our convention here all the time. So the convention is just one of the things that we do. It's the biggest thing we do. It's our big convention, but it's just one of the things that we do here. And it is so important because everyone needs something a little bit different at our convention. Some people just come to enjoy. It's a music festival in some ways. Some are coming to actually look for instruments and gear to try out. So many different things all in one place. You can't walk into a music store these days and find hundreds of different brands all in one place. So it's an opportunity to also try music out. It's an opportunity to network because it's an opportunity for them to say, okay, these are my people, this is what we do, and everyone needs those few moments before they go back on the road, back into the classroom. And so it is a real kind of community feeling. When we talk about percussion, we use drums and percussion. We don't have to, we could just say percussion, but a lot of people just know drums. So we say drums and percussion because, exactly, so if you're in an orchestra, there's the percussion section. Yes, they're playing drums and mallets. So there's symphonic, marching, as you mentioned, the marching band. There's world music, all sorts of world percussion. Some of it is in the band, some of it are all on their own, entire steel drum orchestra. Obviously drum set, spans every type of, anyone who's gone to see a concert, whether it's jazz, rock, country, pop, you name it, drum set. And then, electronic drums and electronic music these days is so big. And then each part, am I looking for drumsticks? Am I looking for drum heads? Am I looking for actual drums? Am I looking for cymbals? Auxiliary instruments. It is giant. It is the largest section or the largest, a grouping of instruments of anything else. If you go to a trumpet convention, which there are, it's going to be trumpets or it's going to be clarinets. There are a number of different clarinets, but we are diverse in nature just by the type of instruments, who plays, the type of music. So we are a diverse group of people because of the diversity of the instruments in which we play. Just so people are aware, we have I think this year we had 35 countries represented here in Indianapolis. And we have members from many more countries than that. And each place has their own type of music, but it also spans. They're playing rock in Japan. They're trying steel drums in Germany, right? So it's not just, okay, our Taiwanese friends aren't just playing music that is from their culture. They're also playing percussion ensemble music that would be more Western, right? So all percussion and drums, and no matter what, is being played all around the world. The same way that you might go to a US college and have a gamelan ensemble or a Brazilian ensemble. Everyone is trying all around the world, and we are that convening. It's like, hey, let's all now get together and share expertise and who's teaching and who the main players are out there. So music, I think music, we all know when there's opportunities to bring people together, music is that unifier, right? It's also that common language. You don't have to speak the same language to go in and play music with one another. You can just sit down. To go into that room and just sit, no talking, and you just pick up the drum, that's real community. And that's something we get to experience here each year. Yeah. I have a path like I think a lot of people might relate to. The band room was my savior in high school. That's where my friends were. It was my safe space. Decided I wanted to go to college and study music. So I did. I went to Long Beach State in California, where I had a great opportunity to study. It was very diverse there. That's where we talked about diversity of instruments. I was fortunate to be able to study mallets and study with the principal of the LA Phil, but also have steel drums and West African drumming and Brazilian drumming and have this really amazing experience. I was a good percussionist, but I wasn't a great. When you're in the house of the principal of the LA Phil, you say like, I'm not gonna take your job. And I think that reality sets in. Like, I could do the journey of play in this community orchestra, play in that, have students do that whole thing. I didn't know that wasn't necessarily for me, and I knew that at an early age. So I got my first passion for the business working in the orchestral world. And they introduced me to this wonderful woman, Lisa Bury, who was the director of development. And she took me around. She said, "You have any questions?" And I said, "Just one." She's like, "Yeah, what's that?" I said, "What's development?" No idea, right? And I learned so much. I learned so much from her, and it was that path. And I got some of my favorite parts of that job was I got to each month go and pick up the conductor from the airport and spend that like 45 minutes. And her name was Joanne Falletta, and I had that opportunity. I remember she said, "Hey, we need people like you who understand the art, but also understand the business." And that was a real game changer for me. And so I went and got my master's degree in nonprofit arts management, which is like an MBA, but we focused specifically on the nonprofit arts sector. And then spent 15 years working in orchestra management. And as life has it, a job opens up that is about drums and percussion and the nonprofit art side of things. And here I am now almost 10 years into the job, this little kid from some suburb of Los Angeles who used to listen to all these amazing drummers online or play their music, and now they're calling me or texting me or emailing me, and I sometimes pinch myself like, how did I get to be a colleague of these giants in our field? So I'm really lucky.
If you missed the convention, you'll have another chance. The annual Percussive Arts Society International Convention staying in Indianapolis through 2028. Our hour is short. Thanks for joining us. Our thanks go to all of our contributors. We hope you've met some new faces and will actively engage with them and more small businesses as well. If you want to know more, you'll find a link to all of them on our website. Scanning the QR code takes you there right now. If you have any questions or suggestions about the topics you'd like to see, send us an email, beo@wishtv.com. Thanks for spending this hour with us today. Join us next week for more business equity and opportunities. Till then, I'm Scott Sander. Have a great day.
Business, equity, and opportunities. Made possible by Fifth Third Bank, Indiana Black Expo, Gemco, IndyBiz Pass, and Bose McKinney & Evans.